Hey guys, Steve here. So today we're back on this, and what we're doing is we are turning this into a class 0 comp crawler. We've already, so prior to this video, I've already made a couple of changes. So first, you can see the bumper is a little different. I got rid of the stock bumper, and a buddy of mine printed out this little stubby bumper with a stinger on it. It gives you a little better approach angle. And then we changed out the tires, and we got these Proline Hyrax tires, and those two things made a difference. Well, you got to run a 54 millimeter or shorter, and these I believe are a 53 millimeter tire. Okay, so today we're going to add, so we're going to take off those plastic bead locks. We got these new cherry red from Little Guy Racing Parts. We're going to throw those on there. Okay, they got those the cherry red Torques. Those are going to look pretty sweet. Now these Little Guy wheels, they have brass rings in the center, which you cannot run brass in your class 0. But I got these, which I pulled out of another one of my builds. These are aluminum center rings by Little Guy Racing Parts. They fit only there. They might fit something, but they're guaranteed they're going to fit inside your Little Guy wheels. So we're pulling the brass out, and we're putting in these aluminum in all 4 wheels, and we're going to wrap them in those Proline wheels. And then I got this bad boy because you can change your steering tie rods, whatever, steering links as they call them in the crawler world. So we're going to go with this little roller. There's no brass in these. It's just all aluminum with the little steel roller. Okay, we're going to add that on there. Of course, we got the Little Guy Racing wheel nuts. And we're going to throw in, again, I love these servos, dude. Love them. So I'm pretty convinced these are the same thing as the NSD RC, what are they though? The RC100 or something like that. Anyway, pretty sure it's the same darn servo, but that's a whole nother video in itself. All right, so let's start putting some of these parts on here, and let's turn this little rig into a class 0 crawler. All right, so we're going to start off by taking apart this plastic bead lock. I've never taken apart one of these that I can recall, at least not this same exact Proline one. Looks like there's just these 3 screws that hold it. Pretty, yeah. Yeah, it's already wanting to come apart. Oh, simple. Okay. And then inside, there you go. You got a foam in there. There you go. All right, so you get this apart, and yeah. Let's throw our new wheels together. Okay, so here's our new Torx wheel. I'm pretty excited about these. These are a really sharp looking wheel. There you go. So set that to the side. And, oop, that's too big. So to take apart the Proline wheel, you need a 1.5 hex head, and for these you got the 0.5. So quite a bit of difference. But yeah. All right. So there's your brass. That's coming out. And we're gonna throw in this piece, this aluminum one here, okay? So we're gonna take that, put it inside the wheel. Oh dear. So, yeah, that's got to come out of there. That goes with the Proline wheel. Silly Steve. All right. All right. Then put this in here. Man, that red is so pretty. I love it. Okay. And then you're gonna wanna just sort of get that all lined up. Man, these things just go together so smooth. Love little guy racing wheels. They look good, they go together easy. At least for me. I've never really... You guys remember the old wagon wheels from, oh, what's them? RC four-wheel drive? Yeah. The Facebook groups used to be full of people complaining about putting those things together. But, yeah. So that's it. You know, and then just put your other 4 screws in there. And so I'll finish that off camera. You guys get the gist of it though. Okay. That's a sexy looking wheel. And the wheel's vented. I don't know if you can hear that. So you don't have to even vent your tire. All right, let's get the other 4 done. Okay, there's our wheel combo put together. Look at that. Freaking beautiful, dude. I love that cherry red. And we got a half dozen screws here left over. I have never ever put together a set of little guy wheels and been shorted on the screws. There's always extra. So yeah, kudos to those guys for that. So before we throw these on, we're gonna throw this in. So do that before our wheels get in the way. So we've already got our Tremor servo put in there. So yeah, we got to pull our steering link out and our servo horn. All right, so let's assemble our link here. These are, I love these, absolutely love them. So, okay. So it's going to sit on there. This flat edge right here, that is going to go onto, that flat edge is going to sit right on your knuckle, okay? And same here, this flat edge is going to sit right there. That's going to go, so the longer of these screws, which these ones are the same, so rock on with that. All right, get them right through there. Okay, and then come over here. Bam, okay. All right, and then we're gonna take this guy right here. All right. Put him right through, and if you look, they recess right through there, okay? See how that recesses? It's buried in there. All right. Okay. So there's our steering. Then all we got to do is get this hooked up onto the servo horn, and I'll do that off camera. It's gonna be hard to see anyway. So I got it, the servo horn on there. There you go. I'm really happy with that. And then these are just little rollers, obviously, to help you get over stuff. So, all right, let's get our wheels and tires put on this bad boy. All right, so we got our steering links on there with the rollers. We got our 53 millimeter Proline tires. We have our Little Guy Racing Torx wheel with the aluminum inners. And we got the Little Guy Racing Tremor. I really wanted to go with the red RS100 just to kind of tie everything together. But I didn't, just because it was a little bit more money. But I chose red just to tie it into the Summit Racing logos. And the reason I went with this for my Class 0 is because of those Proline shocks. I think those are like $50 shocks. And the way I read it, you have to stay with your stock shocks. You can change the spring, but you got to keep the stock shocks. So that's the reason I chose this vehicle for my Class 0. I'm seeing that you got to stay with your stock axles, but give me your opinion. Does that mean that you can overdrive and underdrive them? You know, can you put another axle shaft that maybe has more steering inside that axle housing? I mean, it's not like you're throwing a set of Super 8s or Mias axles under there. You still have stock axles. That's the way I interpret it. So I'm going to see what other guys are doing before I just go silly. It says you have to run a front and rear bumper, but it doesn't say they have to be stock. So this bumper gives me a little better approach angle. So a friend of mine had it and it was printed out, and he had it printed and was available, and he hooked me up with that. So thank you, Danny. So yeah, I'm going to run this Thursday night at ACP in Flint, Class 0, and we'll see how it does. I've never ran that class before, and yeah, I've done a box stock, which is considerably different than this. So, no, not considerably, but a little bit. This still has the stock motor and electronics. So, man, that's a sexy looking ride. I like it. All right, yeah, give me your opinion on Class 0. Can I alter my axles? They're still stock, so I don't see why I can't personally. All right, man. Thanks for watching, and yeah, let me know your comments, and if there's anything on this wall that you want to see a little bit more about. I got more crap around here too. Sorry, stuff around here. Yeah, drop a message, and we're gonna be building a new Class 3 and a new Class 1, and no, sorry, a Class 2, a Class 1, and a hard body. So all that's coming up in the future. All right, man. Thanks for watching. See ya.